My wife took money from my siblings for dates, then called me greedy when I found out I've been with my wife Natalie 10 years, married 4. We met as kids, stayed close. We dated, swapped small gifts, took short trips, and talked things out. I thought we were solid. When we got engaged, we hit a rough patch. 3 weeks of late nights and hard talks, then it smoothed out. The last couple years haven't felt like that. In 2022, she lost her job. Since then, she's bounced from place to place. After the 15th job, I started to doubt. Money got tight, so we stopped going out. I could afford it, but she hates when I pay. We kept birthdays and our anniversary. My family said she stopped giving gifts and skipped dinners. I started lying to keep the peace. If I bought a paperback, I told them she surprised me. If she missed Sunday, I said she was working. It shut them up, but it ate at me. Then my car's engine died. I still had a loan in the mortgage. My dad put down $5,000 so I could get a used car. My family asked why Natalie didn't help. I dodged it. The divorce talk started and didn't stop. I kept saying it was a rough season. I tried to tune them out and fix what I could, but the stack kept growing. I got Natalie back to some family events, hoping it would soften them. Each time she drank too much. We whispered by the sink. The nights turned loud and messy. I ended up apologizing to aunts and uncles. Every time, my family added a bullet to their list. She drinks, she's rude, she's absent. I told myself they were harsh. I didn't want our marriage to be another broken thing, so I kept going even as it hurt. Then my cousin died. We hadn't talked in a while, but she was still my cousin. At the funeral, I sat stiff. Natalie sat beside me, didn't touch my hand, didn't speak. On the drive home, she asked why I was so upset if we weren't speaking. I stared out the window and felt something crack. I had started therapy for stress. I hadn't said much about my marriage. I wrote down facts. Natalie got fired for attendance more than once. She called out for headaches. The drinking ticked up in March. Not often, but when she drank, she blacked out. I told myself she wasn't like the daily drinkers in my family. I never told her what my family says, and maybe that was a mistake. She says she's fine. I don't buy it. She promises to try. Does better for a week and slides back. When my next therapy slot opened, I booked 2 hours. I told my therapist everything, even the lies to my family. Saying it out loud made it solid. I realized I started lying when I stopped being okay. We talked about how a marriage ending doesn't mean I failed. Hearing that set a new thought. I can stop holding a sinking thing by myself. A few days later, Natalie skipped work again for a headache. She's on warnings. I start work earlier, so I didn't find out until I got home and saw her in pajamas. I snapped. I said, "You can't keep missing shifts and keep a job." I told her I get migraines and still show up unless I can't see straight. She said I was overreacting. I said, "Of course you think that, because I always let you do what you want." I grabbed my keys and left before we said worse things. I drove to my sister's place and told her everything. I cried. She listened, and then told me she and our brother had been helping behind my back. They'd been sending Natalie money for dates and trips since she lost her job. My sister even paid Natalie's share for 2 family vacations. I called my brother. I expected I told you so. He said they wanted me happy and were trying to help. It made me feel grateful and sick at the same time. On Friday, I went home and told Natalie we needed to talk with no phones or TV. I laid everything out, one point at a time. The jobs, the drinking, my family, my lies, the money from my sister and brother. I asked her to try therapy. She refused. She said we don't need strangers in our business. I said we need it because we're stuck. She kept saying no. Then she talked. She said the world owes her something. After she lost her job, she asked her parents for help and they said no. She said her dad left for years and came back and she needs to make up for that lost time. I said we're adults and our parents don't owe us support. She said they should. The money talk blew up fast. I brought up her taking money from my siblings for dates and trips. She said why does it matter where it came from if I got what I wanted? She said I care about money and her love should be enough. I told her I needed space and a plan that doesn't depend on hope. We rent and our lease is up in May. I said we're separating for now. I'll stay and cover the bills so nothing falls apart. She can stay with her family. I said I need to see real change before the lease ends. Not words, actions. She stared at me a long time. Then she packed a bag. She walked to the door, looked back once, and left. I locked the door and sat at the kitchen table. The house felt very quiet. Now my family is saying I'm cruel for choosing separation. Was I wrong?